Before we start today, I just want to say that I think counting calories should be something that's easy. That's why I made a spreadsheet that's linked in the description so that you can change the batch size and also the number of servings per batch if you want smaller or bigger cookies or just want to make bigger batches. Hope that helps. Today we're making some chocolate chip cookies. I found that as long as I stick to my calorie goal, it doesn't really matter if I eat chicken, broccoli and rice or something a bit more fun like a cookie. However, you will probably be feeling more full if you have 300 grams of potatoes compared to one cookie, but sometimes you want the cookie instead. To make these cookies, we're going to start with 160 grams of butter, and we're going to brown that butter. You want to put it in a pot on medium heat, bring it to a boil and then keep stirring. And eventually the butter will start foaming a lot, and that means that it's almost done. And when it's foaming a lot, it's going to turn brown and get a nutty smell. And that means that it's almost done. But you want to be careful, you don't want burnt butter, you want brown butter. And when it's done, we want to pour it into something else just to stop the cooking process. Then we're going to measure out 8 grams of baking powder and 200 grams of flour. And after that we're going to measure out 250 grams of brown sugar. And if you don't like brown sugar, you can always use regular sugar, but I prefer the taste of brown sugar in these cookies. So then we're going to mix our sugar and our butter. And at this point the mixture is going to feel very grainy and weird, but that's going to fix itself when we add the flour later on, so that won't be a problem. Then it's time to add 2 egg yolks and 1 egg. And give that a mix. Then we're going to mix our baking powder and our flour. Just give that a quick mix. And I should also say the butter I'm using is already salted, so there's no need to add an extra salt unless you feel that the cookies need extra salt, then feel free. Then we're going to mix our dry ingredients with our wet ones. And when we're doing that, here I remember that I forgot to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. It's easier to do that when you mix in the eggs, but it's fine to do here as well. So then we add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And when we mix that in to a cookie dough, it's time to put the oven on 190 degrees Celsius or 375 Fahrenheit. And then the final step, add 150 grams of chocolate. I'm using dark chocolate. I made this with milk chocolate. Both work fine. Here I'm using 150 grams of dark chocolate with 55% of cocoa. And what we want to do is just roughly chop this up into relatively fine pieces. If you make them somewhat of the same size, it's going to be easier to get the cookies the same amount of calories. They won't be the same amount of calories, but if you eat all the cookies yourself, it will even out eventually, so it's going to be fine. But if we estimate that you get the same amount of chocolate in every cookie, then they're 240 calories. But it's going to be difficult, but it's a ballpark. And as you can see, it's quite difficult to actually work in the chocolate into the cookie dough, but eventually you will get there. Then we need 2 baking sheets and baking paper, and we're going to be making 16 cookies, and I think 1 tablespoon is probably a good size. I have a small ice cream scoop that's perfect and makes the balls exactly the right size to get 16 of these, but I would estimate that a tablespoon will be fine. And you want to space them out because they are going to collapse a bit in the oven. So we want to cook them in the oven. You can do both sheets at the same time. However, if you do, like me, the cookies won't look the same from the top one and the bottom one. So if you want similar looking cookies, I suggest you do these in batches. And cooking time is somewhere from 8 to 12 minutes, and that depends on sort of how you want your cookies done. And for me, this took 10 minutes almost exactly to get them to this stage. And it's a good idea to leave them on cooking sheets to dry up a bit. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.